SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Running a business is tough. If you're struggling with HR, benefits, and payroll, you're not alone. Many businesses just don't have the resources to keep up. That's where MWG Employer Services comes in. We provide a full range of employer services with everything from payroll to benefits to HR services and compliance, and can create a custom plan that fits your needs and budget. We're a Mississippi-based company that can help you focus on what you do best, growing your business. Call MWG Employer Services today at 601-206-7966 or go to MWGEmployerServices.com. You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in. Football season almost here in the state of Mississippi, but training camp happening all over the place. I saw a video of Patrick Mahomes throwing on his surgically repaired knee, and he looked good and healthy. That's the kind of off-season optimism that I am absolutely here for. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. We are back from Tampa. We were back Friday as well, but if you were still enjoying the last week of summer and may not have been around the radio on Friday, we appreciate you. Also, school is starting across the state of Mississippi this week.
Did you say last week was the last week of summer?
For a lot of people, because school is starting across the state of Mississippi.
Summer is still happening. It just means school is going on.
Yeah.
In summer. It's still 98 degrees outside.
I meant summer vacation, I guess, is more the apt.
It will not be summer till we get to the middle of October.
Yeah, and we are. Buddy, are we feeling summer today? Oh, wow, it is hot outside. But we have a busy show for you. We have catching up. The theme of the day. We got winners and losers to start the next hour. Bill Belichick's program's a disaster. We'll talk about that for the college football fix, maybe. We've got 8 teams to get to on the countdown of 100 teams on 100 days. So we're going to play catch-up today. Before Hadad pays the bills, I do want to say again to all of you that were with us last week, whether you just listened every day, whether it be on one of our 12 Super Talk stations that cover all 82 counties of the state of Mississippi. As I was on Chuck Oliver's show today, the way he describes it is every blade of grass in Mississippi is where you can hear him. Yeah. If you listen there, online, in the podcast, on the video feed, thank you, and to all of our partners that made that week possible. That is a long and frankly inexpensive week for us to go do that. It costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of time. We're away from our families for 5 days. I mean, it's a lot. And without our partners, both on the network level and at the local level, we can't do that. So I thought we had a great week of shows, but thank you for being a part of it. And we're looking forward to Nashville next year. But hey, that football, it's almost... This time next week, we're talking about training camp beginning for Mississippi. This time next week,
we'll be 1 day away from our first stop on the Not Fall Camp Tour presented by Pearl River Resort. We will be in Hattiesburg at Sully's, getting ready for the start of the college football season. Speaking of Pearl River Resort, pearlriverresort.com. Book your stay now. You want to get out of the heat? A trip to Geyser Falls might just be the thing you need to do this weekend. Take the family out there, or if you just want to be indoors, you can go grab a great meal at Philip M's or Mama and M's, or just catch some of the awesome live entertainment that's there every weekend at Pearl River Resort. But if you don't want to beat the heat, there's always golf, I guess. You can go play around at Dancing Rabbit and just suffer through it. Whatever you want to do, they've got you taken care of at Pearl River Resort. C-Spire text line open to you, 601-879-4395. With C-Spire, it's easier than ever to get all the devices you want in one move with the Ultimate Connect Bundle. Right now, new and current customers can get a free phone, watch, and tablet, plus 100 gigs of data for just $90. That includes the new iPhone 17 or Samsung Galaxy S26 for free and a free smartwatch and tablet to go with it. So don't wait. There's more to see. Visit cspire.com or stop by your local C Spire store today. C Spire, inspired by you.
What is your favorite part about training camp season specifically? So not when games start, but I just love the complete optimism. When you watch the NFL Network or whatever, every single team, all 32 teams in the NFL, they're going to take a step forward, and here's why. Literally all of them. At least in the SEC, there's Arkansas that everybody kind of picks on. But it's that. It's the just unashamed, everybody talking themselves into their team winning 4 more games than their ceiling actually is. I love optimism season.
So for me, the thing is, it's more. This is more of a college than a pro thing. As in the pros, it's a little different. But when somebody has a couple of big practices, and you hear his name, and are like, yes, keep an eye on this guy, and then he doesn't play a down in the regular season, like
the spring game MVP disappears forever. After.
So at Mississippi State, there's this kid named John Harris. He was a defensive end. Back-to-back spring games, he had like 4 sacks in each game. He could not be blocked. And then you would not see him at all in the regular season, to the point where there are those of us in the media who still refer to the John Harris spring game MVP because it just happens every now and then. So, yes, State, Ole Miss, USM, somebody's name will be, you'll see it on your message boards. You'll hear it on shows like this. Like, I'm hearing that this guy is really impressing some guys, and then you will not see him make a single remarkable play the entire year. You'd be like, what happened to that guy? I heard he was great. Just the way that it goes. What's yours?
It's that. It's just the sheer volume of optimism that just emits from everybody, because you all can't be right. Somebody's going to have to be wrong, incredibly disappointingly so, but nobody's lost a game yet. So enjoy this while you can. And little things like this, too. So Saints fans are dealing with it right now.
Yeah.
When the quarterback takes the players to a different place to do... I mean, LSU fans did it last week. Remember Kiffin's excuse for not bringing Sam Leavitt was that he was organizing a practice that he couldn't get away from with the team?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, buddy, sure. But... I mean, it's like Tyler Shuck takes his receivers to San Diego, and it's like, they're winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
For no
any
reason.
kind of team-building exercises that you have, you're like, these guys, they get along.
This team likes each other.
The chemistry's never been better. There was a couple years at Mississippi State, like early 2000s, where there was always a preseason buzzword, and one year it was chemistry. Like, the chemistry was off last year, but this year the chemistry is right there, and they're going to be. And then they went 2-10. So I love a good preseason buzzword, chemistry, team speed.
They're bought in,
and of course, a staple of any offseason when you have a new strength and conditioning coach. These guys, they've never worked harder. I would change strength coaches every year so that every year my guys have never worked harder.
I was glad to see Pete Golding didn't do that, because they obviously have a new strength coach because Kiffin took his with him,
right?
And it's a guy that comes from the NFL, and people say, hey, he's really good, he came from the NFL, got a lot of experience, but he didn't do the this is so much better.
We've never been stronger or fast. And that's
like this. The old guy was really good. The new guy's really good too. It's fine.
They'll show your schools will show you photos and video of your guys in the weight room, and no doubt about it, they are working hard. They're working their what's off. So is everybody else. It's not like this is happening
except
in a
for
vacuum.
Colorado, apparently, because that team looks like they're.
It's not like Auburn is putting out, look at our guys, and everybody else in the conference is like, I'm not lifting weights. I don't run.
Why would I do that?
I just go out and play. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. But I always get a kick out of, man, those guys, they look great. So.
I will say, when you have a bad strength and conditioning program, it does show up.
It's very evident
in the linemen.
If it shows up, If you've got a lot of nagging injuries, like guys are constantly pulling a hammy or they're tweaking an ankle, that is a indictment of your strength and conditioning program. But you're also correct. If like teams can run the ball on you and you can't run the ball, your strength and conditioning program sucks. That's just
and
what
then
it
physically,
is.
like you can look at linemen and that guy can't do it.
I don't ever want to hear that's just something that's like it's not a coach speak thing. It's like a message board speak thing. Like they wanted to go tall and lean on the linemen. No, they got crappy linemen. I don't want lean anywhere near my linemen.
No, they want tall and long and big.
I'll take 6'6", but don't be 280 pounds. You better be 325, 330 pounds.
Yeah,
6'6". Like I don't ever want to hear about my linemen being lean. No, sir. At that point, I'm just gonna be like, well, they're not gonna be able to run the football this year.
Yeah, just go ahead and count that out.
It's not gonna happen.
But no, really good week last week. A lot of fun. Getting to sit down with the players from Ole Miss and Mississippi State, coaches, great interviews, all that. I mean, it was a lot of fun. So glad we did that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And then again, this time next
coaches.
week,
We did get two of them.
We did get two coaches last week, but next week will be when we really kind of hammer down on football. This is kind of the last week of summer for us as well on the show. You don't want there to be any news about your football team this week. Media Days is over, so there's going to be no more quotes out there. This is the last kind of nothing's really going on. We're going to kind of be loose and have some fun, and if things pop up, we'll talk about them and those kind of things. But
we're going to have a wedding or a hanging. Either way, we ought to have a good time, huh?
But next week is when camp begins. Ole Miss begins on the 6th, I believe. Southern Miss on the 4th, and State somewhere between those 2 days.
I don't know where in the state. I still haven't gotten the
somewhere in that window. What if they're the 5th? That'd be
probably
great.
The 5th. They probably are the 5th.
That would rule.
It'd be great.
One of 8 teams to get to on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We will do that when we come back. We will go to the ACC when we return.
In our Sports Talk Mississippi.
It's go time.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Well, say something.
Super Talk Mississippi.
I'm not a math guy. I think I counted correctly, and we have 8 teams to get to today on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We will play catch-up. Tomorrow, we will only have 1. We will get back to normal, so we got to dive in. We got 2 hours and 40 minutes to go here on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days.
It's bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. This day is bananas.
100 teams in 100 days.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Team number 41 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days comes from the Atlantic Coast Conference, and they share a stadium with an NFL team. Pittsburgh, the Panthers of Pittsburgh.
It's fine.
It's okay. Heinz Field.
One of the best uniforms, though, in college football. The old school pit with the cursive, the yellow helmet, blue jersey.
They got back to the old colors, and that works, and it works really, really well. At Heinz Field, nope, it's not Heinz Field anymore. They took down the big ketchup bottle and everything. It's one of those venues that if the sponsor and the venue are so attached like that, you can change the name all you want, and it's never not going to be Heinz Field to most football fans.
Right.
Acrisure Stadium, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't know what Acrisure
We've had this discussion
is.
before. We know what it is. We just don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yes. Yeah, but to answer your first point, yes, it's just Heinz Field.
It's just Heinz Field. 68,400 is what it seats, but that's mostly for Steelers games. The Panthers don't really draw that well, as you can imagine. Being a second football team in a city like that's probably kind of tough to draw at times, but they do have a good, passionate fan base, and at times they play pretty darn good football. Pat Narduzzi He's a bit of a complainer, that Pat Narduzzi, over the years. He's had a lot of stuff to say, but he does back it up at times anyway. Been at Pittsburgh since 2015, and here's his win totals. 8-8, 5-7, 8-6, 11, 9, 3, 7, 8. So they've been okay, although he has been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bowl games, Hadad. He's only won 2 of them.
Right.
So he's ending the year on bad notes more often than not. And since 2015, he has ended the season ranked twice, one of them in 2021. You guys may remember the quarterback that year. They finished ranked in the top 15, although they did lose the Peach Bowl that season. Last year, they beat Duquesne in the season opener. Name that mascot.
The Dukes.
The Dukes of Duquesne. And then they beat Central Michigan before an overtime loss at West Virginia. That rivalry, oh boy. I mean, you'll never mention that in the top 5 greatest rivalries in college football. The hatred, though. Oh, it's
absolute
real.
Hatred for each other, which is, I don't know why. I need to do a deeper dive. Like, it's not in the same state. I don't know how far it is from Morgantown to Pittsburgh. Why do they hate each other so much? But they do.
It is 74 miles apart, or at least
that's closer than State and Ole Miss, but it's in a different state. Like, I just don't understand.
Well, Morgantown, you may not know this, is right up on the border of
I'm sure it is. I'm just saying, though, like, it's just an odd to be so intense. Like, there has to be something I don't know about this rivalry.
I don't know. It's probably geopolitical is not the right word, but I mean,
I see what you're getting at, though. Yeah.
The very stark differences in the people.
The Pittsburgh natives were very pro McCoy back in the day, whereas Morgantown was all Hatfield all the time.
So they lost that game. That rivalry went away for a while, correct? And then it came back a couple years ago, if I remember correctly. Then they lost to Louisville. So they lost in overtime. They lose by a touchdown to Louisville, but they started winning. Beat Boston College badly. They won at Florida State. They won at Syracuse. They beat NC State, scored 53 points that day. They won at Stanford. They had an off week, and this was a big game. Remember entering the Notre Dame game, people thought, hey, man, it's Pittsburgh. Not only can they go to the ACC championship? Can they go to the playoff? Here's a huge opportunity against Notre Dame at home to enter that conversation, and it didn't happen. They lost 37-15, but they went to Georgia Tech and won. Mm-hmm. So that conversation again was, you're on the outside looking in. They have 3 losses already, but things can get weird here. What happens if they go and beat Miami? And they couldn't do that either. Huge crowd, and that crowd exited that game, if you remember correctly, super early. Miami just absolutely dominated Pitt that day. 38-7 was the final score, and the score doesn't indicate how dominant Miami was, if you can believe that. It was just a rear-end kicking from start to finish. They went to the Go Bowling Military Bowl and lost to East Carolina.
Which was, if I'm correct, is Go Bowling not about bowling?
No, it is actually. It's a website that helps you connect to bowling alleys. Like if you're traveling or whatever, it'll help you connect with
there was like some sort of weird thing there. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's not like wasabi.
Right.
It's not wasabi.
Wasabi is not actually wasabi. Yeah.
No, it's cloud storage or something.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's correct, yeah.
In 2026, an important year for Pat Narduzzi and Pittsburgh. Some people think that they have an outside shot at going to win the ACC. Miami clearly the favorite, but you've got Louisville there that people like, Clemson there that used to be good, but they're talented enough. Pittsburgh may be in that conversation. We'll see. They open at home against Miami of Ohio. Then they host UCF, Syracuse, and then Bucknell. 4 straight home games to start the season. Name the mascot, Bucknell.
The Bison.
The Bison of Bucknell. Then they go on the road at Virginia Tech to face James Franklin, who is now at Virginia Tech. They host North Carolina. More on them later in the show because that's just not going well right now. They go to Boston College and Miami in back-to-back weeks before hosting Georgia Tech. A late bye week. November 7th is their one and only bye this year. Then they host Florida State, go to Louisville, and then they go across the country to Cal to end their season in a game that, if a tree falls in the forest, my goodness, Pitt at Cal on rivalry weekend. I mean,
you play that game at 7 a.m. Nobody would care.
The moms and the girlfriends will be there, and even some of the girlfriends will go watch the Iron Bowl instead.
They'll at least have their TV on their phone.
Yeah.
Like, So
that is Pittsburgh in 2026.
Mason Heinschel, that's a name to know for Pittsburgh. That's their quarterback. Very good last year as a true freshman. Completed 64% of his passes, 16 touchdowns to 8 picks, 2,400 yards passing. Good young prospect. Keep an eye on him going forward. We got a little fancy place. I'm surprised in Pittsburgh. I thought Pittsburgh, blue collar.
Yeah.
Thought we'd have something, maybe some
one of those old school steakhouses where the steaks are $40.
Well, I mean, Pittsburgh rare is a thing, right? I thought that was going to be the case, or maybe like an old, like a Polish or German restaurant or something. Nope, we're going very fancy. This place doesn't even have a steak on the menu, by the way. Fancy restaurant, no steaks. We're going to Altius.
Red flag.
Elevated cuisine, it says. Yeah, I got to be honest, though. $15 for a half dozen oysters. That's not bad. Not that I necessarily want to eat oysters in Pittsburgh, but it's not a bad price on the appetizers there. They do have steak tartare on the. You ever eat that? You ever eat the raw beef?
I'd rather it be cooked, but
I would too. They have. This is my kind of restaurant that the menu is small. They're not trying to do too much. They don't have a 100-page menu. They don't have. We have steak and burgers and pizza and everything. I don't want that. They got an ahi tuna, a rack of lamb, a tomahawk pork chop, a salmon, chicken, and a pasta.
How does that menu not have steak on it?
They do have steak. Okay, I thought this was like a pasta add-on. The way they have, it's just not well placed. I was like, you just add steak to your pasta? No, that's $65. They do have a strip steak and a fillet.
Okay.
All right, so I'll take it back. They do have steak. Dessert-wise, they have a carrot cake, which I love. I love carrot cake. One of my favorites. They also have like a lemon dessert. They call it a pucker up. It's got like lemon in it like 3 different ways. So if you like lemon, there you go. They also do a caviar. This place is fancy. They got a caviar service as well. So if you're ever in Pittsburgh, you want to spend a little money, take somebody out to a nice dinner, try Altius. And when you go, tell them that Borkey and Hadad sent you.
John.
I'm going to be very hungry by the end of the show today.
Okay, so here's the answer.
Okay.
John sent a text to a friend that's a West Virginia fan and said, Sports Talk Radio here is talking about the rivalry, and they didn't know why. They didn't know why. Like, there's the hatred. They didn't know that they were 74 miles apart. Here's his response. That and a lot of students from the Pittsburgh area will go to West Virginia because it is cheaper. And so I guess that creates the local animosity towards each other, those that went to Pitt versus those that went to... I can see that. Country roads.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Take me home, team number 40. Coming up next, Sports Talk Mississippi. We got to crank these out, especially before winners and losers. We will stay in the ACC, and, we'll talk about the western part of Virginia when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
It's time for more Sports Talk Mississippi.
Finally.
On SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Somebody brings up the 2007 Pitt West Virginia game.
Yeah, Pitt killed their chances to win a national title. That team could have won a national title. Pat White, Steve Sladen, electric.
Are you glad that Pittsburgh didn't or wouldn't have ended West Virginia's chance at a national title if there would have been 12 teams, or do you long for the days where that one game completely eliminated West Virginia from getting into a 2-team championship game?
Because that was such a weird season, right? You had LSU with 2 losses getting into the national championship.
See,
game
that's where it gets unacceptable to me.
Where they beat Ohio State, but they won the game. They beat Ohio State. They were the national. The LSU was the best team that year. I would tell you that from start to finish. They had a couple of hiccups. That's a really good question because that team. By the way, that playoff would have been electric. By the way, you would have had Georgia. You would have had Hawaii in there because, of course, they went to the Sugar Bowl that year. Cole Brennan. Gosh, I'd have to go back and look. West Virginia would have gotten in. I don't remember if South Florida, because you remember they were number 1, number 2 at one point. Rutgers was number 1 or number 2 at one point. Would they have gotten in? I don't know. I have to go back and look. But I guess I'll just be a hypocrite and say, yeah, I think I would have preferred a 12 team there just to get some really crazy matchup. I'm gonna go. Well, let's do this one, and then we'll come back at the top of the near the top of the hour, and we'll talk about what could have been the 2007 college football playoff.
Team number 40 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We go to the state of Virginia. Virginia is the team. Cavaliers.
It's for lovers, so I hear.
One of my favorite logos in college sports, the swords and the V. I love it. That's okay. Not the best fight scene I've ever heard.
It's fine.
They play at Scott Stadium, not Scott Field, but Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. 64,947 is the record attendance anyway, but the capacity is 61.5. They have a student section that can go into the grass. You guys saw that recently when the students got to storm the field because there was no gates, no fence, no wall, nothing in front of them. And there was a receiver that was laying on the field that, could have had a Lion King type fate. I don't know how he got out of there safely. Yeah. It was wild. But nice stadium. I don't know if you've ever been to Charlottesville. The campus is stunning. It's a beautiful campus there at Virginia. Tony Elliott, the head coach there, he was at Clemson under Dabo. He's one of the few, frankly, Dabo assistants that's...
he's only had one good year.
He's only had one good year.
Last year was his good year.
And Venables had a good year last year as well, but the Dabo tree, not as robust as the Saban tree.
I don't consider Venables on the Dabo tree just because he's a defensive guy.
True, but he did coach under.
But I guess we count Kiffin as one of Saban's guys. So.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, Tony Elliott, though, remember when he took over at Virginia, it was not going well. Then they had the tragedy. Players died as part of a shooting on a bus at the school. Like it wasn't. It was just one of those horrendous things that happened, and they actually cut their first season short. They went 3-7 in year one. They did not play their last 2 games, and then 3-9 in year 2. 2024 got a little bit better. They went 5-7, but last year is when things started to click for Virginia. They opened with a win over Coastal Carolina. Then they lost at NC State by 4, but then the winning started. And to be honest with you, luck is not fair. If you win close games, you're well coached, you're well prepared, and all that. I firmly believe that. But man, Virginia skated by some of these. They beat William and Mary, name that mascot. It's not an alliteration.
It's like the Colonials or something.
The tribe of William and Mary.
Right. I knew it was something.
Then they beat.
That's really shocking that that's still around, by the way. But go ahead.
Then they beat Stanford. But then here's where things got squirrely for them. They beat Florida State in double overtime. Remember, not a good Florida State team. They beat Louisville in overtime. They beat Washington State by 2. They beat North Carolina in overtime. If I remember that game correctly, didn't North Carolina go for 2 and not make it? I think that's how that game ended.
Sounds right, yeah.
So they went double overtime, 2-point win, overtime. Those were 4 consecutive wins for Virginia last season. Then they won at Cal. Wake Forest, oddly enough, beat them 16-9 at home there late in the season. a loss that made no sense because, remember, at that time, you're talking about Virginia getting into the playoff. If they just don't lose that game, they're probably just in. But they lost to Wake Forest. Weird game. They went to Duke and won. They beat Virginia Tech, but they still go to the ACC championship. Win and you're in. Win, and Virginia goes and plays in Oxford instead of Tulane, because Tulane would have played at Oregon, and James Madison would have not made it.
Yeah, but in the Bahamas Bowl or something.
So win and you're in for Virginia against a 5-loss Duke team that you beat on the road by multiple scores earlier this season. They couldn't do it. They get beat in overtime, and the ACC championship game ended up not sending a team to the playoff. Miami made it, but the ACC championship was ultimately irrelevant to the college football playoff. That game caused the league to change how they pick teams to make the playoff, and I use that word on purpose, pick teams, because one of the criteria, if there's not an easy tiebreaker, is essentially on vibes, on who will make the conference championship game because of what happened to them last year. They ended up beating Missouri in the Gator Bowl. If you watch that game, God bless you. 13-7, the final score in a game in which there are a lot of opt-outs and stuff like that. Horrendous football game. But they did win, and they won their 11th game last season. This year, they welcome in quarterback Hadad. Do you know who it is?
At Virginia?
At Virginia.
It's like I should know based on this line of conversation.
He was a chosen starter
at
an SEC school. He was a starter that won the job at an SEC school.
And then doesn't have it anymore?
And then obviously transferred to Virginia. Bo Pribula is going to be the starting quarterback at Virginia.
I knew that.
This year. They open on week 0, Virginia, NC State. Hey, I'm in for that. I am 100% in for that. On Saturday, August 29th, of course, they have an off week after that, and then they host Norfolk State. Do you know that mascot?
They're like are they the Bulldogs?
It is a warrior of some kind.
I don't know.
The Spartans of Norfolk State. Then they play West Virginia in Charlotte, where the Panthers play. Then they host Delaware. That is a FBS game. Delaware now playing up a level. They go to Florida State, host Syracuse, go to SMU, host Duke, go to Wake Forest. Then their second bye week, because they play in week 0, comes late, November 7th. And they end the season hosting Cal, hosting North Carolina, and then they go to Virginia Tech in what is called...
Oh, the Virginia Tech.
So Virginia's not a state. It is a...
Is it the Commonwealth Cup?
Commonwealth Cup. Yeah. Against Virginia Tech in Lane Stadium.
There you go. We're going to a hotel that was in a building that was built in 1789.
Ooh. Okay.
So, I mean, that's about as old as you can get in this country. We're going to the Ivy Inn for dinner. Famous for their she crab soup. You ever had she crab soup?
I have. I love she crab soup.
It's apparently theirs is very good. Looks good. They'll get a small menu. Shrimp and grits on the appetizer menu. That's always a good sign. We got a big beef tenderloin. That's their steak. They got a pork ribeye. I'm interested. Jumbo lump crab cake. You can't go wrong. Desserts sound really good. They have a trio of creme brulee dessert. You can get chocolate, cherry, and classic.
Ooh.
A cherry creme brulee is interesting to think about. Warm blueberry crisp, sticky toffee pudding, which I have said before, S-tier dessert. One of their sides is pork braised collard greens, and you get the pot liquor with that. So that's. Oh, you can get you can also get a side of country ham biscuits. So you can get 4 ham biscuits for the table.
Heck yeah.
That's a great.
All right, I'm in.
I'm in. So yeah.
He sold me now.
A little history and a great meal. We're going to the Ivy Inn. So if you're ever in Charlottesville, I wonder if Coach O'Connor ever ate at the Ivy Inn. I thought about texting him.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Well, I'll find out the next time I talk to him. But make sure if you do go that you tell them that Borkey and Hadad sent you.
I bet they have a pretty impressive roster of important people in American history that have eaten at that place.
Yes, probably so. Probably so. So, all right. So when we come back,
we got another one.
No, well, let's delay that. I want to look at the 2007. You got me going in the history books here.
I like it.
The 2007 12-team college football playoff. What would have looked like? I promise you this, not like any other playoff in the history of the sport. I promise you that. We'll do that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi here with you on a Monday.
Sports Talk Mississippi, your all-access pass to all things sports in Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
All right, so
2007 college football playoff.
Here's how I know the 2007 season was one of the craziest in college football history. Sylvester Croom won 8 games and took Mississippi State to a bowl game that year. That's all you really need to know. All right, here's what your playoff would have been. Now, your top 4 teams with byes, nothing unusual going on here. All right, nothing crazy. Assuming we're just going with the top 4. Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Oklahoma 3, Georgia 4. Sounds totally normal, right? Nothing
Wait, are you looking at week 13 or after the season?
I'm looking at week 14, so after the conference championship.
After the conference championship games.
Yeah. So that's your top 4. You're like, nothing really weird going on there. All right, here's your home games, right? Arizona State at Virginia Tech. Again, hey, Arizona State's been in the playoff, and Virginia Tech, they got James Franklin. We could see that. Sure. West Virginia at USC. Now, that's like prime USC. Pete Carroll is still there.
Oh, man.
When that's going on, right? And you've got Steve Slayton and Pat White. Great game. Hawaii at Missouri. Hawaii isn't even getting in as just because they're the group of 6 team. They're ranked. They're number 10 in the country at this point.
Was that who was
Colt Brennan?
That was Colt Brennan.
Yeah.
That was after Timmy Chang.
God rest his soul. Yes. And then your 8-9 game is Florida at Kansas. That was Kansas. Mark Mangino. They went 11-1 that year.
Who was the quarterback's name?
Todd Reesing.
Todd Reesing. That's right.
Yeah.
Isn't he coaching somewhere?
I'm sure he is. So let's just assume chalk holds, right? The Rose Bowl is Ohio State against Kansas. I mean, come on. The Sugar Bowl is LSU against Missouri. That's Big 12 Missouri, by the way. The Oklahoma is in the Cotton Bowl, we'll say. And that's going to be against, they would probably playing USC. Again, that sounds normal, right? Which, by the way, we'd love an Oklahoma-USC playoff game now. Get Lincoln Riley against his old squad.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And then Georgia would have been taking on Virginia Tech, assuming chalk held up. So even in the next round, you've got some crazy matchups. And by the way, the first the 3 teams that would have been out: Illinois, Boston College, and Clemson under Tommy Bowden.
Interesting.
Yeah. What a crazy college football season that was.
It's one of those that everybody remembers, too.
Yeah.
Like the Reggie Bush,
the crazy highlight.
Fresno State game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, everybody. I mean, that was the year. So, they're not in there, but at one point, let me scroll back here. So, at one point in the season, South Florida, Boston College was number 2 in the nation in week 9. Kansas was number 2 in the nation in week 12. In week, where's South Florida? Where did they drop at? South Florida was number 2 in the nation in week 7.
Wow.
In week 7, where's Rutgers? Weren't they at one point like number 2 in the nation? Rutgers. I think got as high as. I guess I must be misremembering. That's the game. That's the year where they had that crazy game on Thursday where they got points to the Sky Cam and everything. Yeah. Everybody remembers that. So yeah, Hawaii went undefeated that year. They were undefeated, and then they played in the Sugar Bowl against Georgia, and I believe the score was something like 45-0. Like Georgia was so mad that they were not playing. Georgia was a one-loss team, right? Georgia finished second. They should have probably been in over LSU if we're being totally honest. Boise State was 10-2, South Florida 9-3. You had a bunch of like quality group of 5 teams at the time. Just a fun season. Wonder if we'll ever have one like that again where it's just real chaos. Like what would be the equivalent of that right now? I mean, I guess those same teams.
Pretty much.
Franklin elevates Virginia Tech. Austin Simmons and Ahmad Hardy's healthy, and they're really good. Missouri's good. I don't know about Kansas being 11-1. That would be a hell of a job by Lance Leopold. Tommy Chang, or is it Timmy? It's Timmy. Timmy Chang gets Hawaii just rolling this year. They're 12-0.
You're thinking about the actor
Tommy Chang.
Chong, right?
Tommy Chong? Oh, yes.
Wasn't that his first name?
Yeah, I believe you're correct. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I only know Cheech Marin because of Tin Cup.
Oh, well, there you go.
He was Romeo, the caddy.
He was the caddy. I knew that. Yeah. So.
We will get to winners and losers. We owe you a winners and losers. We skipped last week, so send them in on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. What did you like from the weekend? What did you not like from the weekend? Send them in now, 601-879-4395. We'll be back with winners and losers after the news.
Happening in Mississippi sports. You'll hear about it first, right here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi back here with you on a Monday afternoon. I'm Brian Hadad. He's Michael Borkey. Weather was nice this weekend. Had a little rain on Saturday, but don't worry, Sunday was a day for mowing grass. Was it for you? And the question becomes, did you mow your grass? Did you work in your yard, or did your yard work you over? If that's the answer, you might need to go see our friends at Ag Up, because they've got the backup that you need, and that backup wears John Deere green. If you're just looking for a John Deere zero turn, man, they'll certainly hook you up with that. But if you've got the big job to do, it might be time to talk about a John Deere compact tractor. 0% financing right now on all John Deere compact tractors, 1 through 4 series models. Doesn't matter if this is your first tractor or this is your 10th tractor, which it probably isn't, because those things last, baby. They're built to last. Ag Up's team has got you taken care of with the right machine for your property and your budget. Stop by your local Ag Up location. There's 15 of them across the state, so they certainly are local. Or you can visit agup.com. Ag Up equipment in John Deere. Built for what's next. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details. It's Monday. It's 4 o'clock. We know what's up. It's winners and losers.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. I'm a loser, baby. We got winners. We got losers.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser.
Winner never win, and a winner never quit.
What'd you like from the weekend? What did you not like? Let us know on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. What do you got to say there, Michael Borkey?
Wasn't much sports this weekend, so we're going to go with the low-hanging fruit, but it's an obvious one. Jackson Coyven, the 21-year-old. Unfortunately, he's an Auburn guy, and so when he hits tee shots, you hear War Eagle because he went to Auburn. But
the worst.
he had statistically the greatest collegiate career in the history of the sport. Yes, of the sport. Guys like Scotty played college golf in America. Guys like Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods. He had the most storied career in the history of American collegiate golf. And in his third professional start, not only does he win on the PGA Tour, and look, I know the 3M is... It's an easier course and stuff like that. I mean, Scotty kind of played poorly yesterday, shot 64 or whatever it was. But the fact that he was in the final group and Scotty was charging, and you could hear it, and he acknowledged it after the round that people were, hey, Scotty's coming. Oh, Jackson, be careful. Scott, like all day, he's reminded that the best player in the world is charging, and I've got to lead, and I've got to hold it. And he did not make a mistake. He's not a superstar. He's a psychopath to have in your first tour event that you are in contention for. Mm-hmm. And Scotty Scheffler is a couple groups in front of you just pouring in birdies, and you don't make any mistakes. You hit great tee shots. You hit great approaches. You hit great putts. Up until the 18th, he showed his humanity. He almost chunked a drive on 18 and then hit a really bad third shot into the par 5. Yeah. But then he sinks a 15-footer for par. He was up by 3 anyway. It didn't matter. But just the stones on this kid to fight off the world number 1 to win his first PGA Tour event in his third start ever, it's nuts. And again, elite college player, but to see him do that under those circumstances, oh man, it was special. He's crazy. He's crazy to be able to do that without making mistakes. Mm-hmm. Mentally tough, for sure. So right. he's going to be a stud. Jackson Coyven.
I mean, don't I kind of have to go with the Philadelphia 76ers?
Yeah.
They have completely remade their team. Somebody put out a tweet. I don't know if it was real or not, but like they legitimately might have the best ever starting 5 in NBA, like in recent NBA history. I'm sure there's some that have got, 3 or 4 Hall of Famers out there, but Maxey is a superstar. Edgecombe was one of the best rookies in the game last year. Embiid, when he's healthy, and that's a big if, is the best center in the game. Jaylen Brown was 6th in the MVP voting. The 5th guy's LeBron James. At worst, what? The 2nd or 3rd best player of all time? And that's absolute worst. That's the floor. I don't know how they quite did this. I don't know how they made it happen, but Philadelphia is a real threat. I should put the Eastern Conference. If you're an NBA guy, like this is the best the East I can remember it being. The Pistons are still going to be good. The Celtics are still going to be good. The Cavs are still good. The Knicks are the world champion. The Sixers are much improved. I think the Magic will be back this year. Don't forget about the Pacers. Halliburton will be back. I mean, the Eastern Conference is tough. It's tough. So the Sixers, though, they've got it. I mean, to get LeBron, that's a good one.
That's a good one for sure. Old school winner here, Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming, the author
of James Bond.
His most famous works were the James Bond books. He died back in the 60s, actually. Mm-hmm. But when he was focusing on writing, he would spend his time at his estate in Jamaica, right there on the water in Jamaica. He had an estate, and that's where he would do his writing. When he was working on a novel, here would be his daily routine. Okay? Ian Fleming.
Is there anything relevant to today happening, or you just discovered
I just
this?
saw this.
Okay.
I saw this today.
It's absolutely acceptable. Go ahead.
Wake up 7:30 a.m., and he described it as getting up with the birds and bathe in the ocean, then back for breakfast, scrambled eggs, and sit in the garden until 10 a.m. 10 a.m., sit down and write 1,500 words without looking back. He'd get done in about 2 hours.
That's moving, good Lord.
12:15, snorkel around the bay looking for lobsters. Then come back and have a couple of pink gins with lunch. 2:30 to 4, siesta. Mm-hmm. So he would get drunk and then take a nap after swimming in the ocean.
Right.
4 p.m., after he would wake up from his nap, he would sit in the garden for an hour, then go for another swim, write another 500 words after that, put the pages in a folder, have a couple of powerful drinks, then have dinner and Scrabble with his wife, Anne, and then in bed by 10 to do it all over again the next day. I wake up, I have breakfast, sit in my garden, go snorkeling, have drinks.
Livin.
Take a nap, maybe write a little bit more, hang out with my wife, have some more drinks, go to bed.
That's good. That's a good itinerary if you can get it, for sure.
There's a whole description that's basically a book in and of itself of him describing his day, and it's just awesome stuff like that. Like, I got up and hung out in my garden, went in the ocean.
Yeah. And by the way, the stuff he was writing was the coolest guy that ever lived, fictional character-wise.
Wrote some of the most iconic characters in the history of everything in the United States. And
very good.
Yeah. I thought that was awesome.
Very good. You got a loser?
You go. You don't have any more winners?
Nah. What else? What's going on?
We will get to it later, but North Carolina is the biggest loser of the weekend. That is just a really powerful failure that whoever writes the Tommy Tuberville, Ross Dellinger tweet popped up as I was reading that. Whoever writes the Bill Belichick novel is going to...
That would be Ian Fleming. He's just sitting around snorkeling. He's like, I'm going to write about Bill Belichick now.
Going to make an absolute killing. So, no, North Carolina's a loser, but again, we'll get to that coming up later.
What's going on that deserves loserdom?
We addressed it Friday, but the SEC media's selection or lack thereof of a certain in-state player was a problem.
Yeah, that one got me. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that stood out? Like from the weekend, there's just not a lot. It's not a lot. So we'll move on. Let's go to the C Spire text line. We can start picking off some of you guys. If you got a winner or a loser, hit us on the text line, 601-879-43.
From Shane, winner, NFL training camp, starting loser, the WNBA All-Star Game.
I wasn't even aware that had been played.
It happened this weekend. Okay. Lots of, it's not.
And that's not a knock. I just don't watch women's basketball. I am not a consumer of women's basketball.
She's a multimillionaire. Mm-hmm. And I have a hard time feeling bad people that have that kind of wealth, but I feel bad for Caitlin Clark. I really do. I feel bad for her. The media discourse around her is pathetic. It's pathetic. The USA Today ran a column that they apologized for but doubled down in their apology, comparing her complaining about officiating, I'm not kidding, to the woman that accused Emmett Till.
That was a bad one.
I mean... And then the same publication a couple days later said Caitlin Clark missed the WNBA All-Star Game red carpet because she was getting her hair done. In reality, she was hosting an event for her charity.
Yeah.
And, I mean, ESPN, they have this Sunday women's sports show, and the host she needs to be more accountable to the way people talk around her. It's like, she can't police strangers online. It's like this young woman, she's a woman now, she's 24, elite basketball player, and has said nothing wrong. Like go back and find all of her quotes throughout time. She has done, she's committed no crimes, she's done nothing wrong, she said nothing wrong, she's apologized on behalf of the crazies, and it's never enough. It will never be enough. She will always be villainized by certain people in the media or whatever, and none of it is her fault. She can't control online commentary. And when she tries, it's still not enough. It's pathetic. It really is. I mean, what a waste of a golden goose that they have completely destroyed as a result. Sports Talk Mississippi, your winners and losers when we come back.
Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi, your winners and losers on the C Spire text line before we get back to playing catch-up on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. This is a good one. This is totally off my radar. 24-year-old American Matthew, is it Riccatello?
I like that you asked me. I have any clue how to pronounce this guy's name.
Would it be Riccatello?
It looks like Riccatello.
Riccatello. Finished 24th overall in his first Tour de France. There were 184 starters and only 158 finishers.
Let's say it correctly. Tour de France.
Nah, I'm American. I say France.
You said duh. Tour DE is not an English word.
But isn't it day? Tour day?
No, it's the Tour de France.
Oh.
The Tour of France.
Well, I'm American and
You're just the worst.
freedom fries. So he says I like Trinidad.
Belgians invented those, by the way.
I like that Trinidad's making more money this season than LeBron. Yeah, more money than the Saints quarterback as well. Most of them are.
Yeah.
LeBron's also a billionaire. Trinidad is not, so you can take team-friendly deals when that is the case. But
It's a good point. He's not hurting.
y'all do winners and losers. The Oak Grove, I have no idea what DYB is, but 8 under All-Star team finished second in the World Series. They beat the state champs from Texas, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Louisiana, and Alabama in bracket play. That is a busy weekend.
Diamond Youth Baseball.
Okay.
We're going to be at that this week, right? That's our Friday. That's our Friday remote. We're in
We're on the
Laurel
road again.
We're in Laurel at the, let me see what the exact terminology, the Diamond Youth Baseball World Series. There it is. What else we got here for a winner? Oh, Kerry Woods' pitch on the Savannah Bananas.
I didn't see it.
You haven't seen it? It is the most unbelievable thing. I can't get over it. I've watched it 100 times. He throws a behind the back ephus ball for a strike.
Nice.
So like he's right-handed, right? So he comes and he does this like normal, but he flips it over himself with his other hand,
That's cool.
with his glove basically, and it goes over into it's a strike. It's a called strike. It is, and it actually is. It is a strike. It's crazy. You need to find that. That's a good one.
Last week, the Boston Red Sox run and giving fans hope, and he says maybe with fingers crossed.
We shall see.
Jeff says winner Trinidad Chambliss being picked first-team quarterback by the media over Arch Manning and Gunnar Stockton. Were you surprised by that? No.
So I
was
voted
not.
for.
I wasn't surprised. I mean, like we said last week, you can project them out differently, but what you've seen on an actual SEC football field, one of them is better than the other, and the answer is not Manning. Mm-hmm. Again, if you want to project them out and think different things, by all means, but
Just feels like from a production standpoint, Manning could have a really if they both have really good years, Chambliss will put up bigger numbers. Doesn't necessarily mean that he'll win more games. Texas may win more games, but Chambliss will probably be closer to 4,000 yards than Arch will, if assuming everything goes according to plan.
yeah, Arch threw for 3,100 yards. I mean, he had a really bad stretch of play last season.
He started off so slow. By the end of the year, he was good. He was really good.
Let's see. Although second to last game of the year. Last game of the year against A&M, he was 14 of 29 for 179. Mm-hmm. It's 48% completions. Mm-hmm. Was bad in the Georgia loss as well. Arkansas. Hey, Dad, he only completed 18 passes for 390 yards against Arkansas.
The crazy game. What a game that was.
Oh, man. He's oh, boy, those poor Razorbacks. But, yeah, that
Speaking of the
Kentucky
Razorbacks,
game, he was awful.
winner is our friend Trey Schapp for getting John Daly to come to SEC Media Days. That was a sight to see when he turned the corner into the media room. I was just like, wow.
He's not tall.
He did not look in person like I thought he would look. I thought he was this huge Paul Bunyan of a man, and he's not. Mm-mm. That was crazy. But shout out to Trey for making that happen. I thought that was really cool. It was weird talking to him at Media Days, and we're like, gosh, State and Ole Miss both don't play Arkansas this year. I did an interview with Texags Radio. State and Ole Miss don't play Texas A&M this year. It's just kind of weird.
That is weird. I still maintain, big loser going into this season, because somebody that covers Texas asked me about it at lunch, of all things. Arch Manning not playing a game at Ole Miss.
Huge miss.
It's such a mistake.
I've done 2 interviews with Texas people for my podcast, and I've brought that up. It's like, all they had to do was do that. It wouldn't have taken any effort whatsoever.
Yeah. They snapped their fingers and created this schedule out of nowhere. They could have made that happen.
Ole Miss is at Texas and Mississippi. Ole Miss is at Texas, and so is Mississippi State. And it's just here. What's Texas's schedule here? So instead of Texas playing at Missouri, Texas hosts Missouri, and they go to Ole Miss. Easy switch, right?
Yeah.
Or Arkansas. They go to Arkansas and they play Ole Miss on the road. Like, just figure it out. It would have been super easy to figure out. So, but as always, nobody thinks.
Nobody thinks. I mean, hey, I'd imagine the history and the storylines and all the stuff that you could do around that game.
And then you're gonna see the images of when Ole Miss had the Manning end zone.
Yeah.
Arch was there, and that was like the big recruiting push for him. But it was for Eli, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
So there's everything writes itself.
And
you have Peyton, who's like, hey, that's my nephew. I didn't go to Ole Miss. Who is he cheering for?
Yeah, and in the picture of his dad wearing a jersey that's way too big for him when he's 7 years old
it's all
or
right
whatever.
there for you. So I don't know why nobody thinks anymore.
And you're in show business.
Mm-hmm.
That's the weirdest part about this.
I say it all the time.
You're in show business.
It's entertainment.
Create schedules. The NFL does this beautifully. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are so many
things.
They
know how to do that, yeah.
There's no way that Roger Goodell would not have allowed Arch Manning to play a game at Ole Miss if he was the commissioner of the SEC. There's no way.
Said, we haven't mentioned this yet, but the SEC announced the basketball schedules today for the conference. I have no memory of the final game of the regular season ever being Mississippi State and Ole Miss, but it is this year. Ole Miss at Mississippi State on Saturday, March 6th. That is the final game of the regular season. And I don't remember it ever being that way. Auburn, Alabama is that day as well.
Maybe they're trying to spice it up a little bit.
I saw that, but those are the only two. So
maybe the schedule algorithm just kind of
throw
a bone to it.
Yeah. Also, last year, the game Ole Miss State was at Ole Miss on Valentine's Day. So this year it's the day before. So guys, don't worry if you want to go to the basketball game. Which, by the way, that's going to be opening weekend too for baseball.
That will be.
So that'd be a big sports weekend for us. But yeah, March 6th in Starkville, Ole Miss at Mississippi State to finish off the regular season.
I hope that game actually matters.
Well, we'll see.
Because the rivalry is not enough, like it is in football, to make people really care about that game if both teams are bad.
Right, agreed.
So people keep asking me, what do you think the basketball team is going to be like this year? And my answer is, honestly, guys, I have no idea. I don't have a clue. They brought these foreign guys in. That looked promising, but
I don't like that. That doesn't work for me.
But I don't know what that projection is going to be like. I have no idea. Don't have a clue. And I'm not going to pretend to have a clue, but I'm also not going to spend the offseason hyping them up either.
Right.
I'm going to have the most boring into basketball season opinions about the basketball team of all time because my answer is going to be I have no idea. Patton Pinkins looks like he can be a stud. He's got that upside, but as far as the team, not a clue. We'll see when they start playing games.
We will see.
Can they make the tournament? I don't know. They going to be good?
State.
I don't know.
At least with State, you've got Hubbard, right? You could build around that. So did they do that? I don't know. I think they on paper they look a little better than last year, but a little better is not good enough. A little better is not going to get you, where you want to go as a program. They got to be 7, 8 games better. Yeah. So I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't have a great feel for them because it's just also new. I like some of the pieces they brought in. I like Keegan Grace a lot. I think coming back as a sophomore, I think he can be good for Mississippi State. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting for them. So,
would Arch get booed? Yes, without a doubt. Which would make it even more interesting and compelling that Manning's getting booed in Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked if State goes 5-7 but wins the Egg Bowl, is Lebby still fired? I don't know if yes or no, but that answer
that's not a winner or loser with 28 seconds left in the segment question. That's an hour's worth of talk right there, guys.
I think it's an obvious answer. Yes. 12 wins in 3 years. I don't care if you win the Egg Bowl or not. Yeah. If you have 3 straight losing seasons,
if that was year 1, he'd be in great shape. In year 3, I don't know. I don't think so.
You can't measure a win over Ole Miss against the totality of a program that hasn't had a winning season in 3 years as a head coach in this era. that can't outweigh that. And if it does, go ahead and punt football altogether.
I agree.
We got to get back to the countdown. Sports Talk Mississippi, thank you for being a part of Winners and Losers. We'll be back with more 100 teams in 100 days. 6 more to go today.
The best sports talk in the state.
It's the best thing.
Say that again.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
I hate to talk baseball right here, but
All right.
I look at a D1 baseball. They did a transfer portal hub, and you can do it by team, and it says, war added versus war departed. All right, so if you're war, in case you're not an analytics person, wins over replacement.
What is it good? Sorry.
Right. Absolutely nothing, except for it's a good analytic for determining baseball. So, if your war is 4, that means you are worth 4 wins over the average player at your position, right? 6 war gets you into the Hall of Fame. If you are a career 6 war player, you would be in the Hall of Fame, no questions asked. Anyway, state, 13 transfers in, 11 transfers out. 22.6 war added, 3 war departed. Pretty good. So they're saying they added 19 wins, basically. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case because that would be 62 wins. Don't see that happening, but got me curious. So what is Ole Miss? Does it have as Mississippi or Ole Miss? It has it as Ole Miss.
I guess
Ole Miss, 13.9 war added, 2 war departed. So Ole Miss only lost 5 guys. None of them are particular. Braden Randall's the biggest one, the biggest piece of that. So
And they get J.P. Robertson back, I guess. That went final today. The Red Sox, right? No, the Giants released all their signees. He was not on the list. So,
there you
go. For whatever that may be worth to you. All right, we have done team number 41 and number 40. I'm not a math guy, but I think that means we are on team number 39 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We go west. One of the most iconic brands, the most iconic brand in the G6, possibly. Boise State.
That's fair.
Probably need to get away from the service academies to really talk about iconic, but Boise State, the crown jewel of the group of 5, now group of 6 conferences. Team number 39. The Broncos play in Albertson Stadium, which whoever designed it initially, I don't know if they drank too much at the office. I don't know what was going on because it was a weirdly designed football stadium. They keep improving it to try to make it a little bit better, but odd looking stadium. And of course they have the blue turf. Now that's becoming more commonplace at Coastal. They have teal turf at Eastern Michigan. They have a silver gray Eastern Washington. They have a bright red, but the blue, the Smurf turf at Boise State has been there for a while, and birds still land on it thinking that it's water.
Yeah.
That is a thing that happens there. They
not just land on it, crash into it. They die.
And they obviously did the famous, they hid a player by laying him down on the field and did a trick play because a player was laying down, camouflaging himself on the Smurf turf. But again, they have a rich history. They just win and they win and they win. They have big moments. Speaking of games that everybody remembers, isn't this the same season as well, Hadad, 2007, when they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl and then the running back proposes to his girlfriend right there on the field?
So that would be the 2008 Fiesta Bowl, right?
You had the hook and ladder and the Statue of Liberty in the same game?
That is not correct.
So it would be the 2006 Fiesta Bowl?
Let's see here, 2007. The 2007 Fiesta Bowl, which would have been played at the end of the 2006 season. So it's in the year 2007. But it's for the 2006 season.
So we got off on the right foot anyway. Like the kickoff of 07 was pretty great. But since then, they've just been winning. That's what they do. And now Spencer Danielson enters year 3.5 or whatever the case may be. He was the defensive coordinator and took over as interim in 2023 and went 3-1. He was given the permanent job. 2024, you guys may remember Ashton Genty and that team. They won 12 games. They lost in the Fiesta Bowl to Penn State, but they did play well that day. They proved that they belonged in the college football playoff. Just didn't have the athletes that Penn State did, but they played well. They belonged and had a good season. Last year, a bit of a regression, but they still won the conference championship because that's just what they do at Penn State. Spencer Danielson's a guy that you may want to seek out. He's just got really good perspective, really good, very outspoken Christian man for whatever that may be worth to you. And I think he's a really great listen in press conferences, interviews, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He played at Azusa Pacific. Azusa Pacific is where he played linebacker. Mm. It was an NAIA school. They shuttered the program, but hey, Dad, they are now back. They're bringing football back, and they're going to play Division III. So Azusa Pacific, a real place that plays football.
It exists, yeah.
Last year, they opened with, remember that weird loss on a Thursday at USF? They got smoked that day.
Oh, they got handled. Yeah, I remember
34-7.
We had a remote, and I watched the first half of that at a restaurant in Oxford. I was just like, "What is happening here?" And of course,
that was the College Corner annual Thursday.
And then, of course, Alex Golish. We all know what happened there.
Yeah, they beat Eastern Washington. They won at Air Force. They beat Appalachian State. They had to go to Notre Dame. They lost that game, but they kept winning. They beat New Mexico. They beat UNLV. They beat Nevada. Had a weird loss at home to Fresno State, and then they turned it around and lost at San Diego State. Weird 2 losses for them considering what they did around that. They beat Colorado State. They beat Utah State. They went ahead and beat UNLV again for the Mountain West Championship before losing to Washington in the bucked up LA Bowl hosted by Gronk.
Sure.
That is the official name of the bowl game. And finishing 9-5 last season. This year, as you can imagine, high expectations. People think that they have a chance to be a playoff team, but their first 2 weeks are going to possibly define that possibility. They go to Oregon to open the season.
Ooh,
good on Oregon and good on Boise State for wanting to play that game.
Yeah, but gosh.
And then they turn around and host Memphis. So the winner of that game could be in the driver's seat for the G6 representative in the playoff because a lot of people are high on Memphis as well. They host South Dakota State, name that mascot.
They're the Jackrabbits.
Oh, excuse me. South Dakota. South Dakota State's the Jackrabbits. Yeah. They're hosting South Dakota.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Not the Coyotes, the Coyotes.
The Coyotes.
The Coyotes is how they pronounce it.
One of those varmints, yeah.
Then they go to Western Michigan, host Utah State before going to Fresno State. They have an off week. They go to Washington State in what is now a conference game. They host Texas State, go to Colorado State, host Oregon State, again, also a conference game. In San Diego State before ending the season at Maverick Stadium in Logan, Utah to face Utah State.
All right. Boise State, number 2, number what? 30 what?
39.
39. We're getting a steak, my friend. Finally, we've done it here. We're going to Chandler's Prime Steaks and Fine Seafood in Boise. Big seafood menu here. They got that. They got the caviar once again. They got the $135 seafood platter with all the good stuff on it. Like they got a whole section that are just seafood appetizers. I think I'm trying to see if they have like 2 appetizers that aren't seafood. So in Idaho, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Plenty of great
West
steak.
Coast isn't far away.
I guess you're right. Plenty of great steak options there. I got to be honest, a 16-ounce USDA prime smoked ribeye, ancho chili rub, and mesquite smoked. A smoked steak. Okay? You've got my attention there. They've got a great selection of Wagyu beef, so you can get that. You can get an elk tenderloin. Oh, a wild game. Why not? Looks really good. Dessert. the chocolate bomb. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Anytime you got one of those things that I got to crack open, that's why I like creme brulee. I want to hear the crack there. I'm in for that for sure. They have a creme brulee. It's butterscotch, too. That sounds fantastic. Angie's famous carrot cake, again with the carrot cake. And they have a souffle, which I'm a big fan of because it says take 30 minutes to prepare. That means you got to be locked in at the start of the meal. That means when there's like, can I get everybody a drink? Yeah, I'll have this. By the way, tell the chef to go ahead and start working on my souffle. You got to know coming in you're getting a souffle in this situation. So I'm a big fan of that. So, looks good. It's going to be a little pricey. If you're ever in Boise, Idaho, go to Chandler's Prime Steakhouse. You tell them that Hadad and Borkey sent you.
I'm surprised it wasn't some kind of like a brewery or something.
Could have been. I'm surprised it's not a French fry restaurant.
There was a radio station in Boise years ago, ESPN Boise, I guess is what it was. They asked me to do an interview, and they never called.
This is when Ole Miss was playing them that year?
I guess so.
And they never called you?
They never called. So
I have the opposite.
I would have done it, guys.
I've had a couple people who like commit to things and then they don't answer the phone. I've had the opposite problem. My favorite one was the Liberty basketball announcer.
Liberty Bibbity.
Yeah, when State was playing them in the NCAA tournament, and he messaged me like 3 months after the game. He was like, "I'm just now seeing this. I'm so sorry." It's like, hey, congrats on the win.
We had a BYU guest one time, long before you joined.
Yeah.
He was so long-winded.
Oh, I've heard y'all talk about this guy.
2 questions. 11 minutes. 2 questions. And he talked minutes into the break without knowing. It was wild. Nice guy, but...
It happens.
Team number 38 when we come back.
And the We have a special surprise for everyone.
Give it to me. More Sports Talk Mississippi right now on Super Talk Mississippi.
Oh, you're gonna take me home tonight. Oh, down beside that red firelight. Oh, you're gonna let it all hang out. Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
All right, team number 38 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We go to the Big 12 and a big change for this program.
That's Oklahoma State.
You wave the wheat at Oklahoma State. And everybody, they went back and forth.
I knew that one.
Oklahoma State, the Cowboys. They play at Boone Pickens Stadium. You guys remember him. He was a mega donor to Oklahoma State athletics and obviously helped them build that stadium. 52,305 is the capacity, and if they're going to expand it, I don't know where they're going to go because they built a huge building right up against one end zone. It is a horseshoe-shaped, and there is a club section that goes around literally the entire thing. It's a cool venue, though. There is no sideline space at all. I mean, it is field, like 2 steps, and then wall. So even though it's not particularly big, the fans are right on top of the players at Boone Pickens Stadium. And they've got, Texas Tech, the media guy during Big 12 Media Days was asking a question of the commissioner about their artificial noisemakers. They have paddles. The front row of the student section hits the wall with these paddles that makes noise. And, cool place, fun place to watch a game, apparently. And, man, did they have a great run with Mike Gundy. He was there from 2005 through the first 3 weeks of 2025. And I don't know if legendary is the right word. He will be at Oklahoma State when the dust settles a little bit. But everybody knew who Mike Gundy was. And, man, they were consistent. Win totals starting in 05, they went 4-7. But 7-7, 9-9, 11, 12, 8, 10, 7, 10, 10, 10, 7, 8, 8, 12, 7, 10, and then 3-9. And then the start of last season, they beat UT Martin, and it was an ugly game, 27-7. They go to Oregon and get beat by 66 points at Oregon. And then they turn around and lost to Tulsa. And that wasn't a good Tulsa team last year either. And that was it for Mike Gundy. He knew walking off the field that was game over, and the team lost every single game after he got fired as well. To Baylor, Arizona, Houston, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Kansas State, Kansas, UCF, and Iowa all beat Oklahoma State last season for a 1-11 year. That was a brutal way to see a pretty awesome run end for Mike Gundy.
It sucked. Let's just be honest. One of the great characters of the game, so much success, and just he's one of these guys. Like, it hasn't come as quickly for Dabo, but he's another one of these guys I just don't think was interested in dealing with NIL, and it ate him alive. But that being said, this year's team I think is going to be very exciting. They hired. I think they got a good coach. He brought a lot of his guys with him. That seems to be the formula, right?
Including his quarterback, who's
get a coach, tell him to bring his guys, and you know it worked for Cignetti, it worked for Charles Huff last year at Southern Miss. It just works. Get that familiarity. So
we'll see if it works for Eric Morris. He was at Incarnate Word before going to North Texas. He last season at Incarnate Word won 10 games. Then he goes to North Texas. They go 5-7, 6-7, and then last year's 11-2. We're in the playoff conversation, but obviously we're on the outside looking in of that. They did win the New Mexico Bowl last year, and he is off now to Oklahoma State. And as Hadad said, he brought basically his entire team with him. I mean, they brought everybody, quarterback and, a billion other players. It's basically North Texas wearing different uniforms for Oklahoma State this year. Will it work? We'll see. They open the season on the road at Tulsa. In-state G6 team, significantly, one of the smallest venues in the FCS, a tiny little stadium there. But they're going on the road to play Tulsa. Then they host Oregon in week 2. Oregon at Oklahoma State week 2. What a statement Eric Morris can make by even just playing well that day. Mm. Then they host Murray State. You know that mascot.
The Racers.
The Racers. Then they go to West Virginia. Mm. Have an off week, host UCF before they travel to Houston. Yeah. They host Colorado before back-to-back road games at Iowa State and Kansas State. They end the season, Texas Tech at home, Arizona State on the road, and Kansas at home.
You're not prepared. You're not prepared for what the best restaurant in Stillwater, Oklahoma is.
Russian.
It's Japanese shabu-shabu at the Tokyo Pot. For those who don't know what that is, you get a big container of flavored broth and a bunch of raw meat and seafood, and you just cook it in the broth. That's the number one restaurant in Stillwater, Oklahoma, the Tokyo Pot.
I refuse to cook my own food at a restaurant. I am not paying to cook my own food.
So that's why you need to go to Korean barbecue, but go with someone who's younger than you, and then by Korean tradition, they have to cook. The youngest person has to cook. They also have to serve. So like you get a pitcher of beer, they got to get the beer to you. So yeah, if you're ever in the mood for shabu-shabu and you're in Stillwater, Oklahoma, go to the Tokyo Pot and tell them that Hadad and Borkey sent you. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll start the 5 o'clock hour with you when we come back.
Your home Sports Talk Mississippi is back.
This is it.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad with you. We're in the Pearl River Resort studio. We're about to get to the college football fix, where this is the time of year. I mean, we are very much at the end of the, if your team is in the news, it's not good.
Right.
In the summer, you get some recruiting stuff pop up, and media days happens, and all of your teams are in the news. And then there's that week and a couple days long period where you want nothing to come out about your program. And I mean nothing. Well, unfortunately, a legend of the game is under fire yet again, and we're going to tell you about it for the College Football Fix.
The College Football Fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford tough. That's the best-selling truck in America, the Ford F-150. You need a new truck? Is that what you're thinking right now? Well, don't waste your time. It's too valuable. Go see your Mississippi Ford dealers today. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
I guess North Carolina's playing in week 0 because they started practice.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
And also, they fired their general manager. Reading from ESPN, Michael Lombardi's a guy you probably know. He's been around the NFL for a long time. And when he was hired at North Carolina, a lot of people thought that wouldn't go well. And then remember, he was the guy that banned an NFL team from going to scout North Carolina players because of an old grudge from back in the Patriots days. It's always been a mess, and it's been poorly run, and we've talked about that a lot. And he was fired today, but not because of poor job performance. He's been placed on paid administrative leave. UNC announced earlier today that it's effective immediately. They did not disclose any other details. However, ESPN was able to uncover that the school's decision comes from a human resources complaint filed by a former front office employee. There's a pending investigation into the matter. He joined Belichick in December of 24 after he got the job. He worked under Belichick with the Patriots for 3 seasons from 14 to 16, and he was even with him in Cleveland back in 1987. Again, it has not gone well from the jump. Players, particularly, apparently, reportedly didn't like him. Staff members didn't particularly like him. Members of the media also have had bad experiences with him, and he is now facing that. That wasn't the only thing that happened with North Carolina today. Unclear if this is separate or the same incident, but if the College Sports Commission is investigating North Carolina, they don't really match up. But they are also, according to Pablo Torre, UNC football is being investigated by the College Sports Commission, which is now the group that handles NIL compliance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They are under investigation from the CSC. Now, the CSC's investigated a lot of programs. They haven't really done anything yet, so this very well could be a paper tiger. But 2 stories today about a college football program. They're both about North Carolina. One of them is firing their GM after an HR complaint, and the other is they're being investigated by the alleged enforcement arm of college sports. Not good.
It just never ends. When's the last time we heard something good from North Carolina that was football related?
2 stories, and neither of which involve Jordan Hudson.
That's a good
the
start.
Upset of the day right there.
That's a good start. But, when's the last time we talked about anything from North Carolina that was related to what happens on the field? That's a problem, man. That's drama you don't need in this day and age of college football when you have a coach who clearly isn't elevating your program. You're paying him a ton of money. What are you getting out of this, North Carolina? You're a good job. North Carolina's a great job. Good coaches would want to go there. You could attract an elite head coach there. You have resources. You have the ability to win games and go to the playoff. Why are you forcing yourself to be attached to this guy who isn't going to do these things for you? Now, look, we could look up in a few months and they figured it out and they're right there in the ACC mix. I don't know. I don't think I don't believe that Belichick is just a terrible, terrible football coach. The guy knows how to win. But there's just too much going on at North Carolina for a program that could snap its fingers in an offseason and hire a lot of great coaches. A lot of coaches would take that job.
Yeah. They most certainly would. I don't understand. I mean, look, guys they want to coach. They want to coach forever. And so maybe I understand that. But the downfall of Bill Belichick it's fascinating. Is what it is. Regardless, I had somebody in my Twitter mentions, he wouldn't have won without Brady. Well, he had Brady and he won. Okay, Andy Reid's had Mahomes, and he won. So is Andy Reid not a good coach because he has Mahomes? No, of course not. You don't win Super Bowls by having a bad head coach. That's not how that works. It was his process. Listen to Brady talk about Belichick's process and the way he ran that franchise. It wasn't just Brady.
Yeah.
And so to go from that to, I mean, you're in your 70s, man, and you got this 24-year-old little girlfriend. Just go away. Go live on Nantucket and just go in peace and enjoy your life and your golden years with all your money and your legacy. And I mean, now he's letting her control a lot of aspects of his life. I don't mean to pick on somebody that somebody's dating, but she's too involved in the program.
Yeah.
If she wasn't involved, it would just be like a funny, haha, look, he's dating a young girl. But the young girl's like a part of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not winning on the field, and now he's got GM problems, and now he's not getting into the Hall of Fame right away. And
it's not worth it. It's just not worth all this trouble. Belichick's the least. That guy's got his money. If he wants to do this, if he wants to be involved with Jordan Hudson, that's fine. Whatever. Whatever.
Old guy dates young girl, more at 11. You know,
well,
big deal.
It's more old millionaire dates young girl. That's what that is. But at the end of the day, if you're North Carolina, this is headache you don't need. You could be a factor in the ACC right now. All right? Clemson's days of dominating your conference.
John Summerall would have taken that job, too.
John Summerall would have been interested in the North Carolina job, for sure.
2 years ago, without a doubt.
Well, I mean, maybe even this year.
If you did a one and done? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even this year. Alex Golish would have been interested in the North Carolina job. I don't think there's any
Eric
question.
Morris would have been interested in that job.
Would have been interested. James Franklin would have been interested in that job.
Ooh, that's a scary thought.
It would work. It would absolutely work. I mean, I don't think he would have, but don't tell me that North Carolina couldn't have put together a presentation and gotten the money together and had Michael Jordan involved and at least gotten Lane Kiffin on the phone, at least gotten some sort of conversation with him. But instead, they're locked in with Bill Belichick. And
on the phone, Instagram DMs is more of where he operates. But
I was talking to somebody today, and I was just like, as I would do, I was like, hey, boy, if Ole Miss loses to LSU, there's going to be a meltdown from Ole Miss fans. And this person who covers LSU,
sure,
was like, yeah, but then Lane will be insufferable. And I was just like, buddy, that's not my problem anymore. That's the least of that's. You seen Boogie Nights? That's a YP. That's not an MP. Let him go. I don't care. I got to see him once a year now. Maybe once every other year, I guess, or once every 2 years.
Too.
Yeah. Mullen would take the UNC job.
100%.
100%, and he'd win. 100%.
And now they're stuck. And like you're right, maybe they have figured it out and they start winning. And
yeah,
I mean, Belichick's too good to. If it comes down to just football, they should be able to figure out how to at least win football games. But to see this guy that was so like the model of no nonsense,
right?
Let his college program become nothing but nonsense. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the Patriots were so focused. We're on to Cincinnati, whatever. It was all business.
He got Gronk to be able to lock in and like produce and play.
They were
well,
all business all the time. There was never any shenanigans. There were shenanigans, but they were football-related shenanigans, right? They were cheeky shenanigans. They were the kind of shenanigans that like they led to winning. Like we're deflating these balls because we think it helps us win games.
We're so obsessed with winning.
We're spying on other teams because we want to win football games. And now it's like we want to try to get aggregation. We want more social media presence. It's not about winning football games anymore. I don't know. When that hire was first announced, I was like, this could be something that really works. But it could also be something that really fails. And it's trending towards really fails right now. So
that's a long-winded PSA for State fans and Ole Miss fans. If you're ever looking for a coach,
go young.
Don't bring up anybody like Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen Florida State people start doing what if we brought Jimbo back? No,
don't do it. Don't do it.
No. It worked for Bill Snyder because he's different. It won't work for you.
Yeah.
We got to get back to the countdown. We'll do that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Bring Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Borkey and Hadad with you. Somebody says, so Dan Mullen wouldn't work out at State?
He's not old.
He's not old. That's the clarification. Dan Mullen's still very much in the prime of his career. If you hire Dan Mullen 15 years from now, then yes, that would be the problem. But right now, no, he's certainly hireable.
You're good.
A coach that was hireable and then extendable after mediocre seasons is next on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. Let's go to the Big Ten for team number 37. Nebraska, the Cornhuskers. An incredibly proud fan base. They really support Nebraska football, really all sports. It's a big fan base, but my gosh, do they just show up every single year, every single game, and fill up Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. 92,003 is the record attendance for volleyball in that stadium. Yeah, they put 92K in their stadium for a volleyball game, and the record for a football game is not that much bigger, 91.5. So, again, proud fan base. They really love their football team, and they just don't get a return on their emotional investment lately. I know that was a program back before really my time that was just dominant and feared and everything. In my lifetime, they have been nothing like that.
Won, 3 national titles in 5 years or something like that back in the mid-'90s, and in the 80s, they were labeled as the best program to never have not won the national title. Of course, they won one in the 70s, but they had that. Tom Osborne, I guess, was the coach. Tom Osborne was the coach who couldn't win the national title until he did. Then he won 3, and just never one of those programs that they had most of their success. They recruited Florida really hard, right? They got a lot of great players from the state of Florida. Can't do that anymore. So they have no in-state recruiting base, and they're not the national program they used to be. So, where do they get players? But
having a hard time doing it. Matt Rule enters year 4. Remember, he was at Temple and did an awesome job at Temple. Took them from 2-10 to 10-4 in 3 years. Won another 10 games a year later. He took over Baylor after the Bryles scandal and went 1-11, 7-6, 11-3. Most people thought that program was going to be dead forever, and in 3 years he brought it from out of the grave. That has not happened at Nebraska. As you guys remember, he spent some time with the Carolina Panthers. That didn't go well. Probably the worst place that Matt Corral could have ended up as a draft pick. I don't think he would have made it regardless, but that was just not the place that he needed to go. Because he had a desperate coach that was desperate to win immediately. And anyway, he goes back into college, and I thought, that's probably going to work there. He's a good coach. He's won at difficult places and difficult situations, and it has not worked. Last season, they started off pretty strong. They beat Cincinnati. They beat Akron. They beat Houston Christian. Quick, name that mascot. It makes no sense at all.
I know it, but I don't know it.
The Huskies.
Yeah,
because nothing screams Houston, Texas like a Husky. And then they lost to Michigan by 3, so they were still, people thought, hey, this Nebraska team, not too bad. They beat Michigan State, they beat Maryland, but then they started losing. They lost to Minnesota. They beat Northwestern. That wasn't a good Northwestern team by a touchdown. They lost to USC. They did beat UCLA, but they ended the season with 3 consecutive losses at Penn State, to Iowa, and then to Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. And remember, in the midst of that season, the Penn State job came open. He was directly linked to the AD at Penn State, so people thought, oh, Matt Rule's going to go get the Penn State job.
Right.
Nebraska gave him a big, fat extension, and it's not deserved. He has not elevated that program at all, but they were afraid that they would lose their mediocre coach to Penn State. They couldn't have it, and so they gave him an extension. So no hot seat for Matt Rule this year.
So be it.
In 2026, they are taking on the character of the Big Ten, which is boasting about playing 9 conference games and then playing nobody in the non-conference. Ohio, Bowling Green, and the Fighting Hawks of North Dakota are the non-conference games for Nebraska this year. Then they go to Michigan State, host Maryland and Indiana before going to Oregon. Indiana and Oregon in back-to-back weeks. Yikes. Have an off week before hosting Washington. They go to Illinois and Rutgers before hosting Ohio State and going to Iowa. So they have road trips at Oregon, at Iowa. They host Indiana and Ohio State. Matt Rule's going 7-5 again this year.
Yeah, just on the surface, that's what it looks like, right? I don't know. Man.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like on the surface.
All right, restaurant. Because I'm trying to squeeze 2 in here.
Another one that I don't get. Like, we're in Nebraska, middle of beef country, corn, things like that. This place is called the Green Gâteau. They got cauliflower pizza, chicken salad croissant. They got, it's one of the big menu. They got some steaks, some chicken. Their dessert, they have a signature dessert called the Green Gâteau. It's a creamy chocolate marquis, which is a rich, solid mousse between 2 layers of dark chocolate cake. Contains both pistachio buttercream and rolled almond fondant. It looks like it is floral watercolor. I just don't like dark chocolate, so that's probably a no good for me. They do have carrot cake. But if the carrot cake has pineapple, I'm out. What is going on in the state of Nebraska? I got to be honest, guys. I think we're going to find better options if we're in Lincoln, Nebraska. There's got to be a steak somewhere that we could have in that state. So, That being said, if you want to go to the Green Gâteau, you tell them Borkey and Hadad sent you.
All right, team number 36 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We go to a place that we just were, Hadad. Houston. Not bad.
That's fine.
They play at TDECU Stadium. Just rolls right off the tongue. TDECU Stadium. TDECU Stadium.
Yeah.
This tough. It's new, and it looks like it was built with an erector set. 39,700 is the capacity. I say new. Gosh, hey, it's not that new anymore. I remember when they built it, but all the way back in 2014. It's a 12-year-old football stadium. And they are now in the Big 12, and they're led by Willie Fritz. You guys remember him. He was at Tulane before taking the Houston job. And we talked about older coaches. He's on the older side. He is 66 years old, but, man, he's just a winner. He won at Central Missouri for a long time. He won at Georgia Southern. He won at Tulane. And now he's winning at Houston, or at least he did last season. They beat Stephen F. Austin. Quick, name that mascot.
Oh, God. Are they the Lumberjacks?
The Lumberjacks of Stephen F. Austin. They won at Rice. They beat Colorado. They beat Oregon State. They did lose to Texas Tech, but that was a good Texas Tech team. They beat Oklahoma State, Arizona, and Arizona State before losing a close one to West Virginia. They beat UCF. They did lose by 3 to TCU before closing the season out with a win at Baylor, and then they beat LSU in the Kinders Texas Bowl. You guys remember the Texas Bowl?
Kinders,
whatever.
I mean, they were one of our sponsors last week. Did you not get any of the delicious
They were not one
sauce?
of our sponsors.
They were one of the SEC Network's sponsors or whatever. They had a whole sampler table of sauces.
Yeah, I didn't, but that didn't clarify how to pronounce the name to me.
Oh, well, I spoke to one of their representatives to let him know I had a lot of his stuff in my fridge. So
you should have told him to send a package of it our way. We'd have gotten the name right on the show.
Yeah.
But, they did beat LSU last season to end the season. This year they open with Oregon State and then Southern. You know that mascot.
Jaguars.
And then they go on the road. Back-to-back weeks, Texas Tech and then to Georgia Southern. Houston's playing at Georgia Southern this year. Before conference play begins, UCF at home at Kansas State, Oklahoma State at home at Utah, Cincinnati at home after the bye week before back-to-back road games at Colorado and West Virginia, and then they end the season against Baylor. That is a quick look at Houston this year under Willie Fritz.
I'm not going with the first one because it's in a hospital. It says it's in the Texas Medical Center. I'm like, how good can that be? I'm just not going to buy into that. So I'm also, let's see here. So this is the number 2 place. It's called Brenner's on the Bayou in Houston, which people forget. Houston is on a bayou just as much as any place you'll find in Louisiana.
Yeah, they just put parking lots everywhere.
That's true. They got something on the menu called Texas Kisses, pepper jack stuffed bacon wrapped shrimp. Bacon wrapped shrimp. That's my number 1 favorite food, wrapped around my number 3 favorite food. with a barbecue chipotle glaze, apple Brussels Boursin slaw. You ever had Boursin? It's a cheese.
Oh, no, I have not.
And candy. That sounds good. They got the bacon. They got the roasted bacon with the maple pepper glaze. We got we got some steaks here. All right. It's all the Japanese Wagyu you want to eat. They got USDA Prime. They got it all right there. Huge selection. King crab legs, lobster tail, plenty of sides. This is one of those restaurants that don't have the prices on it, by the way. So you know it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. What do they got for dessert? I didn't see. Where's the dessert menu on this area here? Menus. They don't have dessert. That's disappointing, guys. It looks good though. It looks like a pretty generic steakhouse, but it looks good. So if you're ever in Houston, head to Brenner's on the Bayou. Tell them that Hadad and Borkey sent you.
All right, we got 3 more to get to. We are going to finish and get caught up.
Let's do it.
We'll be back in just a bit.
That hell of a dog is howling heavy, man. All you gotta do is put a drink in my hand.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Boom! Are you ready for some football?
On Super Talk Mississippi.
We got 3 more to go. We missed all of last week on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days, so we've got to play some catch-up. So we have 3 left. We had 8 today. We're 5 down, 3 to go. Team number 35, we go to the ACC, and what used to be one of the biggest brands in the sport. Maybe it still is, but it has lost its steam lately. And a coach on the hottest seat in the country. Florida State. This is technically their fight song. I know.
Technically, yeah.
This is technically it.
Yeah.
Doak Campbell Stadium, fresh off of yet another renovation. They have put a lot of money into that place. It now seats 67,277, although its record attendance is almost 20,000 more people than that. They have reduced capacity rather dramatically.
Well, they've reduced winning, too, so why not?
Yeah, it used to seat 82,300 to be exact. Now, again, 67,277. They have taken a lot of seats away and maybe taken some of the bite out of the venue as well. It used to be really well respected. And, again, maybe if they start winning, it will be again. But they've added clubs, taken seats away, just not the same. But aesthetically, from the outside, beautiful bricks and all that. One of those places in college football that you know when you see. Mike Norvell, the head coach, he has been there for a while. Remember, his first year was the COVID year, if you can believe that. He was at Memphis. He won 10 games, 8 games, and 12 games his last 3 years at Memphis. Got the Florida State job. He has the weirdest run as a head coach, maybe in the country. Mm-hmm. 3-6 in the COVID year, 5-7. They let him see a year 3 because COVID didn't count for anybody. Right. Then he went 10-3.
Yeah.
Then he went 13-1. But remember, after they went undefeated, their quarterback got hurt in the second to last game of the season. They get snubbed in the playoff. And I thought his and his team's response to that in the immediate aftermath was a pretty good indicator of what kind of quote-unquote culture
they quit
that he has there. They completely quit, and they got absolutely demolished by Georgia in the Orange Bowl. And then the program quit. They went 2-10 immediately following an undefeated season, and then 5-7 last year. Here's what that looked like quickly. Remember, they beat Alabama to open the season. Remember when that happened?
Yeah. We were all like, Alabama's done, and so on and so forth, yeah.
Then they beat East Texas A&M. Then they beat Kent State, 3-0 with a win over Alabama. Florida State was ranked highly going into a double overtime loss to Virginia. Then Miami beat them, but barely, beat them by 6. Then Pittsburgh beat them barely by 3. Then Stanford beat them barely by a touchdown. They did beat Wake Forest, but then they lost to Clemson. They beat a bad Virginia Tech. They lost to NC State, and then Florida beat them down for good measure in their last game of the season. You know how we talked about during media days, a team that wins close is a team that's prepared and well coached. Mm-hmm. What is a team that loses close all the time? Team that's not
opposite,
not well prepared and not well coached. That was Florida State last year. Mike Norvell sits on the hottest seat in the country. You know whose quarterback's going to be this year, by the way?
Oh goodness, it's not Castellanos. He's gone. It's somebody I know.
Auburn transfer Ashton Daniels is going to be the quarterback at Florida State.
We'll see how that goes.
They open with New Mexico State. Mm-hmm. You know that mascot, the Aggies.
Right.
That is on week 0 as well. Then they host SMU before an off week. Then they go to Bryant-Denny week 3 for everybody else, week 4 for Florida State. That's a huge game for the future of Mike Norvell and just for college football this year. Then they host Central Arkansas. Name that mascot.
Oh, they're the Bears.
The Bears. Then they host Virginia. Back-to-back road games at Louisville and Miami before hosting Clemson. Back-to-back road games at Boston College and Pitt before hosting NC State and Florida.
All right. We're going Italian.
In Tallahassee.
In Tallahassee. Well, Tallahassee is an Italian word for city in Florida. I don't know if you knew that or not. Tallahassee.
I did not know that.
Yeah. We're going to Il Luso. Now, this is not the highest rated place or anything. I have a friend who lives in Tallahassee, and I said, what's the best restaurant without thinking? What's the best place? So he told me it looks great. I won't lie to you. High end Italian food. You know, any place that's got. Oh, where it happened here? Where did it go? All right, here we go. They got pasta. This pasta sounds pretty darn good. You can get the pasta as an appetizer too. That's always a good sign. Because in Italy, pasta is like the second course. Like when you go sit at somebody's house, they have an appetizer, which is usually they'll have some cured meats and cheeses, or maybe some vegetables. Then they have a pasta course, and then you have your main course. So you can do that here. You can get a small portion of the pasta, and then get your steak. 24-ounce prime dry-aged cowboy ribeye. Thank you very much. Makes it very easy when I see that on the menu to get that. A lot of great options here. Great drink specials. What do they got for dessert? Where's the dessert, guys? I got to have that. It's an Italian restaurant. It's got to have good dessert. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Baked Alaska. You don't see that every day. Tiramisu. You know what a budino is?
I have no idea.
It's the Italian word for pudding. It's a chocolate budino. It's just a pudding. Okay. But they're very good. Yeah, this place looks pretty good. Shout out to Mike Poche, the official consigliere of sixpackspeak.com. Il Luso, if you're ever in Tampa, tell them that Mike, Hadad, and Borkey sent you.
Team number 34 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. The Horned Frogs of TCU.
Real quick, Florida State being this high is ridiculous. It just occurred to me.
It's ridiculous. Blame ESPN's
no chance.
Football Power Index, a ridiculous algorithm. By the way, the Horned Frog is not a frog. It's a lizard. It's not a frog. Right. But the Horned Frogs, they do their little hand signals in the Big 12. They all have one. Theirs looks like this. It's like they're throwing a knuckleball.
Yeah.
And they play at Amon G. Carter Stadium. The designers of that stadium, the architects, cared about aesthetics. It is a really nice-looking football stadium, and it's built really tall. So it only seats, I think, 46,000, but it looks a lot bigger because they built the seats up high, and it looks really nice, and the outside looks nice. They did a good job there. And Sonny Dykes has done a good job there as well. Remember, he went to the national championship game in year 1. They won 13-2, had a step back in year 2 at 5-7, but back-to-back 9-win seasons for TCU, and he's got the program respected and really steady there. We'll see what they can be this year. They opened the season last year, remember, at North Carolina. They beat the hell out of Bill Belichick, and it was huge night for North Carolina, and it was an embarrassment by the end. Then they beat Abilene Christian. You know that mascot? It's in the logo.
What is it?
The Wildcats of Abilene Christian. They beat SMU to start 3-0, but then they lost at Arizona State by 3. They beat Colorado. Most people did, but they did as well.
Sure.
Before they lost at Kansas State, but they rebounded with 2 wins against Baylor and on the road at West Virginia. Couple of losses against Iowa State, and then they got smoked at BYU before they ended the season on a hot streak. They beat Houston, they beat Cincinnati, and they beat USC in the Alamo Bowl to end the season with 9 wins last year. A good year. Can they repeat that? We'll see. They opened the season on week 0 against the aforementioned Bill Belichick North Carolina Tar Heels in Dublin, Ireland is where that game will be played at Aviva Stadium, a really cool-looking stadium there in Dublin, and we're going to get treated to North Carolina football. Can't wait.
There you go.
Actually, I really can't wait. But
oh, it's going to be great.
Then they have an off week before they host Grambling, name that mascot.
It's the Tigers, aren't
The Tigers of Grambling. And Arkansas
You're going
State.
too far with name that mascot there when you're just the Tigers.
Any FCS team, I'm going to name that mascot on.
Okay.
All of them.
All right.
Arkansas State, before they go to UCF, they host BYU before their second off week. Then they go to Baylor, host West Virginia and Kansas before ending the season at Arizona, Kansas State, Utah, and at Texas Tech. Pretty big expectations for them this year.
All right. As you can imagine, in the state of Texas, we're going to an elite restaurant that serves a lot of beef. I've heard of this guy before. The name is the Lonesome Dove Western Bistro. Chef Tim Love is his name, and he's been on a lot of Food Network stuff. Large selection of wild game. We're talking about a duck, rabbit, rattlesnake sausage. I'd try that.
All 3 of them, I would absolutely try.
I would absolutely try it. Texas wild boar. Yeah. Elk sliders. Kangaroo nachos. I've had kangaroo. It's not bad. Main course. Hey, they got some great options. A bison ribeye. Sounds really good. Rabbit ravioli. I'll try it. Sure. Why not? Chili rubbed lamb chops. Chicken fried steak. I mean, it's Texas, right? Chicken fried steak, Yukon Gold, mashed potatoes, green beans, pickled peppers, cream gravy. I'll eat it. Their steaks, they charge you by the ounce. They don't. There is no. It's just by the ounce. They get, if you want tenderloin, it's an 8-ounce minimum. Strip is a 10-ounce minimum. Ribeye, 14-ounce minimum. Or you can get the Wagyu Tomahawk ribeye for $190. Plenty of great choices as far as your sides go, as you can imagine, and great desserts. Lonesome Dove Bistro. Tell them Borkey and Hadad sent you.
From the Sports Talk Mississippi, your new home for exclusive sports coverage here in the Magnolia State.
Let me put it to you this way.
Right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
All right, one more. Is that
I'm
right?
tired.
We'll get through it.
We will have caught up. I know. We promised we would never skip one, and we're not going to skip
We're not going to do
one.
it. We haven't done it.
We have not done it. We will not do it. Team number 33. Tomorrow's show will be normal, by the way. We'll have a normal show tomorrow. But for today, we had to play catch-up. It is a pet peeve of ours. We have skipped too many in the past. No, sir.
Never again.
Team number 33. We go to the Big Ten for this one. Illinois, team number 33. A fight song that mentions Princeton, by the way.
Sure, why not?
I don't know why, but they do. Illinois, team number 33. They play at Gies Memorial Stadium at Zuppke Field. Zuppke Field. All that just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Remember Juice Williams? I got to see him play in person. He was awesome.
Great player. And then Rashad Mendenhall.
Yeah, man. They have a little bit of history with those iconic orange helmets.
They have Red Grange.
60,670. 6670. There it is. at Guy's Memorial Stadium there in Champaign, Illinois. Brett Bielema, the head coach there, you guys remember him. He had a great run at Wisconsin before taking the Arkansas job, and he stunk out loud there, found his way back into the Big Ten. Sure enough, he's winning again. It's almost as if, wait a minute, it might be a little bit easier to win in the Big Ten than it is the SEC. That doesn't compute, but anyway.
It is what it is.
5-7 in year one, 8-5, 5-7, but 19 wins over the last 2 years for Brett Bielema. Last year, they were good. Luke Altmaier at quarterback. You guys remember him. Hey, Dad, you know him in particular from being from your neck of the woods. Mm-hmm. They opened with a win over Western Illinois. Do you know that mascot? Horrible color scheme, yellow and purple.
I don't know it.
The Leathernecks.
That bothers me because I did know it.
Western Illinois. Then they beat Duke at Duke. They beat Western Michigan. And then Indiana beat them by 53 points. But they bounced back with wins over USC and Purdue. Then they hosted Ohio State. That was a big game for them at the time. And Ohio State took care of business there, won by 18. Then they lost at Washington, which effectively ended their shot at the playoff. Yeah. But they recovered still. They beat Rutgers. They beat Maryland. They did lose at Wisconsin. That was a bad loss for Brett Bielema. Then they beat Northwestern before beating Tennessee in the Music City Bowl, and a lot of people had a lot to say about that.
2 years in a row, they've beaten an SEC team in their bowl game.
Yeah,
South Carolina 2 years ago.
He trolled the brakes off of
yeah.
Shane Beamer live on this show 2 years ago.
Yes, that was fun. I remember that, yeah.
Their quarterback this year, you may recognize this name, hey, Dad, Caton Hauser. Do you recognize that name?
I don't.
I think he was at Michigan State before he was John David Baker's quarterback last year at East Carolina. He goes to Illinois to be the quarterback there this season. They open with UAB and Duke at home before hosting, name that mascot, Southern Illinois. You know this one.
They're the Salukis.
Salukis of Southern Illinois. And then they go to Ohio State before
the Buckeyes.
Before returning home to host Purdue.
Yeah.
Then they go to Michigan State and Pat Fitzgerald before their off week. Then they host Oregon, go to Maryland, host Nebraska, go to UCLA, host Iowa, and go to Northwestern. Will Brett Bielema back up his talk? We'll see, because he talks a lot.
He does talk a lot. Name of this restaurant is Seven Saints. Real quick, name Seven Saints.
Oh, don't do that to me.
I will accept New Orleans or Catholics. Whichever one you want.
It would take.
if you just listed 7 apostles, you would get there.
Yeah.
St. Peter, St. John, St. Andrew, St. Matthew, St. Mark. I mean, we can just keep going.
Yeah.
I could easily name 7.
I could have done it, but I didn't want to embarrass myself.
It's an interesting menu. It's like a sandwich place more than anything else. But they have some other stuff on the menu too. They have crab cakes and everything else. But it's their signature thing is sliders. They have just the classics. They have a barbecue slider. They have a Chicago-style hot dog slider. They have a bratwurst slider, buffalo chicken. They got all this stuff. The dessert, though, a raspberry donut cheesecake. I don't know what that is, Borkey, but I want to find out. I want to know more about.
I like the sound of that.
A raspberry donut cheesecake. You've got my attention, Seven Saints. So if you're ever in Champaign, Illinois, and you want a slider and a piece of raspberry donut cheesecake, go see our friends at Seven Saints and tell them that Hadad and Borkey sent you. Good start to the week here on Sports Talk Mississippi. Coming back from SEC. I can't tell you, by the way, we've got at least 2 or 3 interviews we're going to get this week of people who were like, hey, sorry I didn't catch up with you at Media Days. Call me next week. So we will definitely be doing that. We'll be talking a lot of college football. Don't forget the Not Fall Camp Tour starts next week. We'll be in Hattiesburg at Sully's. Talk about the Golden Eagles. So that's the start of our tour. We're going to be at the Landing here in Starkville. Oxford location still to be determined, but we will be in Oxford very, very soon as we head around the state. For Borkey, for Rhina, who just slid in there if you're watching them on SuperTalk TV, I'm Hadad. Talk to you later.
Oh, it's incredible!
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.